All right, so this is the first video in the series, and this first one is going to be how to create Facebook ads using engagement through Messenger. So here we go. You see our screen here. First thing you need to do is go and create your account that you're going to link. You're going to have to link a bank account or a credit card so you can use it. Could be a personal thing if you're trying to promote yourself, or if you are trying to do your brand, then you can go ahead and create an account for that. So here I operate under Lafayette Comedy. So once I got everything set up there, you're going to go to create. Now there's a few things you're going to see, and I'll kind of walk you through the first ones. First of all, the two that I use are awareness, three that I use: awareness, traffic, and engagement. Awareness is just that. It gets it out there to people who are most likely going to remember that. You're trying to get that brand name out there. Sometimes I do this with not targeting a specific show, just to make people aware of the brand. Next one's traffic. This will get you to a specific website or a Facebook event, or if you were trying to promote a Instagram profile. And then engagement. This is the one we're going to be using today. Leads, app promotion, and sales. Those are all things you can use if it applies. Leads is good if you're trying to collect like email addresses and everything, but I do that through my ticket platform and when people sign up on the website. So today we're going to do engagement, and it says this: get more messages, purchases through messaging, video views, post engagement, page likes, or event responses. So the one thing I found that's useful about this is when you do engagement is that when people see the ads and they click on it, it can send you a message, and then you can autofill some pre-made questions that they can answer, which I'll show you in a little bit. But the other thing too, this is good because it gets more people in your Messenger inbox. And if you ever need to shoot out like a coupon code, like, hey, thank you again for reaching out. By the way, take $5 off, take 10% off. This is really good, and you can get a little more personal. You can start conversations there. So first thing we do is we're going to create a new campaign. We're going to leave this as an auction type. You can change this, but I leave it as an auction, and then we're going to do engagement and click continue. Then it says tailored messages or manual. Start with the tailored, and then you can tweak it out as you go. So I'm going to let that load up. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a sample ad. I have a comedian, a legendary comedian out of Houston named Andy Huggins, who's coming in January 4th. Notice on the side of this screen over here, I have 4 things, and this is good to do before you get started. One, you can do a video with video clips of the comedian. These are things like from, one of his specials, things that he's done on like YouTube Shorts or, on Facebook. Take that video, and then I suggest 3 different image formats. One's your typical square format that's used on Instagram. One is a vertical, which is good for Instagram stories, same size you can also do for TikTok. And then also one that's like a landscape. That's like your hitter there. So I have these already made. This will save you so much time. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to title this Andy Huggins. All right, messages campaign. So next is your category. You don't have to worry about that. That's only if you're doing some political or housing or social and employment. Not going to worry about that. This is the page I operate under, Facebook page, Lafayette Comedy. I'm also going to select Messenger and Instagram. You can do a WhatsApp connected to your phone number. This is the business phone number I use, but I'm just going to take that off for right now. I really haven't had good success with that. So really everyone stays in the social media platforms there. Then you need to come down to your daily budget. So you can set up a daily budget or a lifetime. What I generally do is set up a lifetime budget. So I'm going to put $100 for this one. This ad is going to run for almost a week, and I'm devoting $100 to this. Make sure that if you're going to do like your lifetime, make sure you don't leave it on daily budget. I learned that the hard way. I went $320 over budget one time, and it was, yeah. So make sure you put that on the lifetime budget. I'm giving it $100, and today is December 30th. I'm going to start the ads. It says 1:15 p.m. It usually defaults your start time. So I'm going to say 1:30 p.m. Now the show is on Saturday on January 4th. It's at 7 o'clock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's just run this till about 4 p.m. that afternoon. That gives me 3 hours at the last time it runs, and people may see it last minute thing to do. Hey, let's go do that. Next is ad scheduling. This is very useful because you can tell it what times to run the ads. Here's the thing. Right now, it's going to run 24 hours all the time. But I look at things like Monday through Thursday, and when are people sleeping? And why waste time with those ads out there? So I want to try to catch the bulk of my audience. So generally, I usually start from anywhere from like 7 to 9 a.m. I try to think like your standard person, work hours, when are they up? If I'm targeting a big college audience, they may not be up this early. So I'm going to start, let's just say 7 a.m., and I'm going to go all the way to 11, all right? And I'm going to do that for the chunk of these. But when I get down to certain days, so here I got Thursday night. Friday, I may have someone up a little late because we do some shows on Thursdays. I'm going to do that. But on Friday, then we go through Friday, and I got Saturday morning. I'm going to put it to about 2 a.m. because I know those people will be up late Friday night, early Saturday morning, and same thing for Saturday. It's even though it says Sunday, this is when they're coming in from the bars because our bars close at 2. So I'm going to try to get that. I'm leaving this light blue open, and that is where the ads are not going to run because I don't think that's my golden window where people are going to see that. You can leave it the whole time, that's fine, but I just kind of play with it, and you can really kind of target. Like, let's say there's you're running an ad and it was on a holiday or Christmas, people may not be hanging out on their phone watching it, so you may want to, not focus on that date, whatever. But this is where I do it. But again, if you leave it by default, it'll run 24 hours a day. So then you come down, and there's a thing called Use Advantage Plus Audience, okay? And it's supposed to help you reach more people. It's supposed to be a little smarter. I like using that. It kind of uses some things I've had before. And I'm kind of going back up here. It tells me it's running to the Sunday. So we're here on a Monday, so I don't even need it to run on these dates because they're not going to see it. And I'm actually going to take off this Saturday right here. All right. So going back to our audience, you can save audiences as you go through this. So you may have this is my typical audience. You can save all that. Depends on the comedian. I try to do it differently, and sometimes you find different results. So one of the things you want to do is go into your location. We are located in Lafayette, Louisiana. There's no reason I want to leave that for just the United States because it's going to target people that will not see this or will not come to the shows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to find exactly where I live. So here we go, Lafayette, Louisiana. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop my pin right there. And by default, it's going to set up a 10-mile radius, okay? So I know a lot of the people that come to shows may increase, I should increase that mile radius. So I'm going to actually increase it to, let's say, 30 miles. And watch what happens. It gives me a good 30-mile radius, all right? Now, sometimes I'm targeting the marsh down here. I may not need this. So sometimes I'll drop it back a little bit. You can also do this. Let's say that the comedian you bring in is known and you want to target another city that he's or she's not going to. I may go ahead and I know sometimes we get people from Baton Rouge. I'm going to drop it, let's say about right here. All right. Got a nice 10-mile radius for Baton Rouge, and maybe I'll get lucky. But my main focus is going to be this area. Sometimes if I have a comedian that's not going to anywhere else to us, I will target New Orleans. I will target Lake Charles. I may even target all the way up to Alexandria, Shreveport. Just really depends who the comedian is. Next is your age range. If your venue is 21 or older, then you need to change it to 21. You don't want to show this to anyone that's younger than 21. For this show, it's 18 plus. Now, you want to look at your max range. Now, here's the deal, and you'll see in a little bit, Andy Huggins is, I believe he's in his 70s, so he's got a wide range of people that know who he is. I'm going to leave it like this. Normally, I will bring this down to probably 55. Again, it's really knowing your comedian and knowing the show. But right now, I'm going to target everyone, even though he's a little foul. But we're going to get some people in his age range that may be interested. Next is your genders. For your genders, if you click on this, you can target specifically men, specifically women. Again, it really depends on your comedian and the audience they bring. Sometimes you may want to set up 2 different ad sets and have one target specifically men, one specifically women. That just depends on you. This, I leave it open across the board. Next, I'm going to jump real quick to languages. It just really depends on your area, but I know, here I always put English because this is even though we're a French speaking area, these comedians are English speaking. It's not anything unique or different that I need to target. If I was in an area and I was bringing in someone, let's say, someone who has a wide range audience, someone who may be from overseas, someone who's a certain race, nationality that may target and bring in a specific audience, that's where you can really tweak it in there. But right now I'm just putting straight English across the board. And then this right here is the biggest thing, your demographics, okay? So this is inviting people who match certain things. So stand-up comedy show. So first thing I always start up with is stand-up comedy. And notice right here, your estimated daily results, your reach here. When you click on that, it's going to start changing. And I'm going to start really specifying who my audience is, who's going to be more inclined to engage and buy tickets for this. If it's someone who doesn't like comedy, well, then they're not going to come up on this. So I really want to target those comedy fans. So once you do your first one, you're going to start getting all kind of recommended things. And you can click a few, humor, comedy, laughter, joke. Then you start getting to other things. Well, Comedy Central, I click that even though it's not the biggest thing anymore. Comedy Central used to be great for comedy. Now, I don't know what they do other than office reruns. But you can still target that. Saturday Night Live is pretty popular right now. Then you want to really start targeting your biggest comedians that you can think of. So your Chappelle's, your CK's, Kevin Hart, Bill Burr. And as you click on some, you're going to get different results and it's going to keep changing. So Jimmy Fallon, let's do Rogan. Let's see. We'll do Seinfeld, Gaffigan, Mulaney. All right. If there's anyone that else, let's say, Tom Segura just toured through here. I know he's going to be hot on the radar. Bert Kreischer. Some comedians are not on there. So if I wanted to target Gillis, he doesn't pop up in there. Sometimes I'll target, if I want to target people like Mark Norman, for some reason he's not on there. It's just sometimes that's not in their database. Let's say that, and Andy Huggins is a older comedian. If I type in elderly, well, I'm not getting, certain things. So you really want to target, if you had a comedian who has like a big viral clip, and let's say it's about divorce, then you may want to target divorce. We do shows at breweries and distilleries. So we will target specifically people who like beer, people who like rum, people who like whiskey. Just depends on where your shows come in. Don't just think about the one comedian. Think about things that relates to them, where they're from, what's making them hot. Is there any podcasts related to them? If you type in podcasts, let's see what we get. Streaming service. So then you got, all these other ones, Nerdist. It may take you a bit to find some comedian, comedy related podcasts. So just put in all that stuff right here. And then you can also browse for more. You can look at demographics. Okay. I want to look at, people who are parents, people who life events, you can go down to, work, interests, behaviors. You really just spend some time and go through here and figure out what you're going to target that, is going to find your audience, so here are bars, concerts, all that. There's so much you can do. Go through all that. Again, so once we do this, we put in where this ad's going to run. We're going to put in our budget. We're going to tell it how long to run. We're going to focus on a schedule if we do that. And then really dial in your audience as far as location, age, and then all these interests. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. All right. So here's the second part. And this is, here's the actual ad. So I'm going to put in Andy Huggins. And then this is where we're going to go through and put in our artwork, our images, videos, you name it, and set up the interaction between that engagement. So here we go. You can do a partnership ad with you have a business or someone you're working with, multi advertiser ads. So it's going to go along some products it's going to try to relate to. And then here I'm going to go my ad creative. So here is my video ad. So I'm going to go to one of my pages. Here is a headline, and I can put in there. I'll copy this from another page, and I'm going to put comedian Andy Huggins and he was on America's Got Talent, Don't Tell Comedy, and Amazon Prime. All right. And then here where it says primary text, and again, I'm just copying this from the Facebook page event or my website event where I have everything all spelled out. So there's my primary text, my headline. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload one of the media. So I'm going to go to my desktop. Here is the video that I prepared. I took some clips, kind of put it together, put the information on there. Then you can trim the video. So my current length is 54.9 seconds. They say recommended up to 15 seconds, but I have a lot of jokes in there, and I think it's going to capture people's attention that, his age and everything. So I'm just going to leave that whole thing in there. Now, here's where you go into the sizes. So if you have different video sizes, this can be a problem where you really have to work. Because if I do 9:16, what's going to happen here? And it's going to get just a little part of it, If I do a 1:1, this may be a little better because I'm going to see most of it there. And then, of course, my horizontal one over here, this one's set up, and that's going to run in the same format. If you did images, what you would also want to do is the same thing over here on the side: your square, your vertical, and your horizontal. But I'm going to go with this. Then it's going to do this is something new, optimize your ad with enhancements. I just kind of bypass that right now. That's a little too much here. So it's processing, it's putting in my ad, it's doing my formats, my square one, my vertical, my horizontal. It's kind of filling in everywhere it's going to run it. And that's going to be Facebook pages, in ads. If you go to Marketplace, you'll see it. Sometimes in Messenger, you'll see it. In Stories, you'll see it. And again, I'm going to go back. I'm going to take my ad description, my primary text, and then I'm going to copy my title again. And my headline, I'm going to say Andy Huggins from America's Got Talent, Don't Tell Comedy, Amazon Prime. Next, you're going to see what it's going to do is going to create some things for you, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not, but they kind of use that AI, and then it puts in stuff like laugh out loud this Saturday. Sometimes it's laughter alert. I mean, as cheesy as it is, but sometimes it works. I do a variety, and it's going to run it in different variations. Same thing with your headline. It will change that, and you can tell it generate more and see what you get. You can see this, Lafayette Comedy Presents, Comedy Night with Andy Huggins. So now I'll choose a few of my little headlines. And then here's the other thing, that's the engagement part. This is the messaging template, okay? So what you want to do is go in there, edit, and then they have some pre-filled in things. So it's going to say, hi, whoever's the name it is, let me know how we can help you. What you can do is you go in here, and this is where you put some information, and you're asking those questions. You're answering those questions that are frequently asked already. So, I always get, where is the show taking place? This is pre-filled, so they can just click on that. And then I am going to put Club 337, where we do our shows inside the DoubleTree Hotel on, and let's do at, and then I am going to copy the address from my other screen and post that there. All right. So where can I buy tickets? Tickets can be purchased at, I have that filled in, LafayetteComedy.com, or at the door the night of the show. And then I always get, people ask for prices. So it's $20. And so, I will put in, tickets are $20 plus taxes and fees, or $27 the night of the show. All right. Then, people always ask, tell me more about the show. And then I just go into my lovely little description, and I am going to copy that, and I'm going to paste that in here, and let's see how much I can get in there. So it may be too much, and I'm going to, let's see if I can shorten that up. And I'm going to put that first little part in there, and there you go. Information about Andy Huggins. Then it's going to save it as a template if you want. This one, I'm only doing this one just for Andy's show, so I don't need to worry about that. And I can keep it right there, and I'm good to go. So now I got 3 questions. They can still ask any questions they want, but these are pre-filled. Where's the show taking place? Boom. Where can I buy tickets? Boom. And then tell me more about the show. And then I say finish. All right. Then you can go in some tracking stuff. You can track website events. You can set that up. There's things where you can use Google Pixels, all that stuff. Right now, I'm just going to leave it like that. So here we have what our ads are going to look like. And if I click on this, you can see what they're going to see. They click on this one. That's the format. That's that widescreen. And it will show you all the different ones. This one's going to be, if they watch that, it's going to automatically play that story, and they can go ahead and chat, send the message, all that. So, got everything set up. What I must do is publish. And there we go. It's going to go ahead and process. You can see all the previous shows I've had down here. We just finished one with Sean Patton. And you can see right here it says in draft because it's processing, it's publishing, and then it's going to take a little bit, and then it will give you a notification that the ad is live and is ready to go.